So the evade fix is live right now, and I have jumped straight into the game to actually compare what we are working with. We do have quite a lot of options that are opening up with the fix. The current version that you see on screen right here is an acceleration version, which is going to also deal quite a lot of damage, but it's basically the middle ground between the previous and the absolute end game version. Sure, we have lost quite a little bit of power in terms of the storm feathers per second, basically, but the build is still going to have its place, speed farming you directly into Torment 4 and getting your glyphs up to 46 very easily, absolutely no problem. You can probably farm T4 extremely easily, and then you use the evade build basically only to level up your character and then transition into the next build that you are going to play. So this is definitely going to be the place for the evade build going forward into the next seasons. But there is also going to be a lot more options that you have already right now. And I have gotten a planner ready for you guys, which will be linked down in the description below. As you can see right here, we're already testing quite a lot of stuff. So what are we working with here? We do have, as I said, a lot of options. Planner down in the description. As I said, we do have a Sepazontec starter, the version that you are already familiar with, where you have the loyalties mantle, where you have the Sepazontec, and it's taking care of your replenishing of your evade stacks with the triple hit stuff. Absolutely normal stuff with the dexterity GA that you really want. And we are stacking the maximum resolve. So this way you are maximizing the damage. The funny part currently still is that the unyielding hits aspect is currently not steadily working for your storm feathers. Therefore, it is currently ideally replaced by something like Inner Calm, for example. But as soon as that unyielding hits thing is fixed, the damage of your storm feathers literally triples again if you have 5,000 armor in Torment 4. So there is still a lot of room for this build to grow when all of the bugs are fixed. And the speed is actually exactly the same. We tested it by running, I was running after someone on a mount, for example, and it's still super fine. It's still an absolute blast in terms of the speed farming. So the Sepazontec version, you already know, unyielding currently should be Inner Calm, but don't forget to change it back as soon as unyielding is working for your storm feathers. So the two new versions are going to be the acceleration version that I am currently playing here on the character right now. As you can see right here, we do have some numbers. You can take a look if you want. Second version, the acceleration version that you have right here. You will need a Fists of Fate, which is going to be used for its big lucky hit chance stat on the gear. You don't really need the GA lucky hit chance with 130. Don't worry about it. But you do really need a Fists of Fate that has more than 200 on the unique effect. So definitely keep an eye out on that. And ideally you want to find it with greater FX lucky hit chance. The attack speed literally doesn't matter. A high crit chance would be very beneficial here as well. Then we still run the loyalties mantle. We still run Eagle, just like in the version that you're already familiar with. But we are getting rid of the Sepazontec. Therefore, we need something that is going to help us sustain the evade charges. And this is where the acceleration aspect on the neck is coming into play. For this, you are going to lucky hit reset your evade cooldown, and therefore we need the Fists of Fate basically playing into the acceleration version of this. On top of that, you also use the lucky hit chance to make enemies vulnerable for 2 seconds. Just to guarantee that the targets stay vulnerable, because you are obviously playing with Vital Strikes, which is removing the vulnerable effect to cash in on the 45% damage multiplier. I think we will maybe see a Andariel's version with Noxious Resonance for the evade coming along. We will have to see if that is going to work out. Then you need to fix your cooldown reduction in another way. I'll have to cook a little bit more, but there might be something with Noxious Resonance and an Andariel's. We'll have to figure that out. So that is basically the second best version you can play currently, and that is the version you should be playing if you don't have a Shaco. You are still resolve stacking with that second version, so everything that you currently already do is the same thing here, where you are stacking your resolve to not only buff your defenses, but you are also buffing your damage through the Colossal Glyph, which gives you a little bit less than 2% multiplicative damage for each resolve stack you have, and you are going to obviously have a lot due to the stacking capabilities of the chest, of the pants, and also even more on the amulet. For the third version, you will need a Shaco, and this is going to be the most promising one. It is very important that you have high cooldown reduction, because this is the way how you sustain your evade charges. Obviously, you also do that on your amulet, which is going to help you get to those 75% cooldown reduction, which is also going to help you reduce the cooldown of Armored Height to become permanently active, giving you 100% block chance, which is then going to be converted into damage through the redirected force on your two-hander. Both the acceleration and the Shaco version give you a lot of positives, because due to getting rid of the Sepazontec, you are freeing up your two-handed weapon slot. Therefore, you can boost an aspect and double the effect of it, but you also get the tempers that you were missing. So in this case, you're getting the primary Eagle Spirit Hall potency and the Storm Feather potency, which more than make up for the loss of the Loyalty's Mantle. And due to getting rid of the Loyalty's Mantle, you can then play the Gorilla as secondary, giving you permanent unstoppable and also giving you more resource stacks. So this is a nice synergy that is going on here. We will have to see how we can actually further improve this build. Very important here is that you crit on the primary Eagle Spirit Hall potency to further increase your damage, and very importantly, make up for the loss of the Loyalty's Mantle. Again, if you don't have a Shaco right now, that's totally fine. You can still play the Sepazontec starter. Right here, it's the build that you are currently familiar with the resource stacking and everything. Just like it was, it is going to be a little bit weaker than you are used to because of the number of projectiles that you are actually shooting. And then if you want a little bit more damage, you can go for the acceleration version right here with the two-hander, with the normal two-hander. That is going to help you out tremendously in terms of damage, and you will still be able to sustain your evade charges. And then as the current final version, you're going to go and do the Shaco thing that I just explained. I'm going to continue cooking for the Evade Spiritborn, because that is probably the skill that I like the most, or the build that I like the most currently. And I definitely want to be this to be a thing. It is, as I said earlier, not going to be your absolute end game pushing build where you're going to get the highest pit clears ever. It hasn't been that. It will never be that. But what it is going to be, it is going to be your best friend when it comes to going to Torment 4 really fast in a new season on your Spiritborn, and then you can transition out of it. I'm also going to be looking more into Quill Volley, because Quill Volley and the Rod of Kapeleke have now been fixed. Previously, the Rod of Kapeleke chance to cast twice was not afflicting the Quill Volley, so you were missing out on a lot of damage for that, which currently makes Quill Volley probably the absolute best build in the entire game, with the fix that just came out for the Kapeleke. If you are interested in that, I suggest you check out the Twitch that is linked down in the description below, as well as the planners. And if you like content similar to this, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I'll see you next time.